Hi, and welcome to this session on LinkedIn Essentials, which is a part of our ongoing adult employability session. My name is Natalie McClellan. I'm the Employment Education Training Coordinator with Military Family Services. So today we're talking about LinkedIn. If you're new to LinkedIn or not sure whether or not to join, we'll start by just talking about what LinkedIn is. So LinkedIn is a social networking site, not unlike Facebook or Twitter, except LinkedIn is designed specifically for the business community. It's designed to allow users to establish and track networks of people that know and trust professionally. Typically associated with job searches, LinkedIn also uses its platform for selling services for recruiters for marketing purposes. A lot of business-to-business marketing happens on LinkedIn. Currently, the site has approximately 562 million users. About 40% of those are active daily on the site. Being active daily is not necessarily important. I am not. I probably use the site approximately once a week, depending on exactly what I'm doing and what I'm up to. Another 260 million users tend to be active approximately monthly on this site. But generally, what LinkedIn does is it allows you to leverage the power of your network, which includes the people you know, but also the people that they know, so your second and third degree connections, to help you connect to the people in the positions to offer you a job or to offer you some other professional opportunity. LinkedIn doesn't replace your resume. It's another piece. It adds to your entire application process, and I like to think of it as your LinkedIn profile being your resume, your business card, and your elevator speech all rolled up into one. LinkedIn is all about networking. Once upon a time, you would attend industry events, networking mixers, Chamber of Commerce meetings, and other similar activities and events in order to make connections and build your business relationships. But now many of these activities have moved online using this LinkedIn community and other similar platforms. So much like networking in person, professionals interact on LinkedIn with the explicit intention of making these connections. You can use LinkedIn to interact with people within and outside of your profession. It gives you the benefits of networking in person, but with less of the hassle. For one, you don't have to get to events, find events, perhaps pay for events, which is often an issue. But also if you are, like myself, like most of us here, you're living in Europe, unable to work. You're actually trying to build a network, not in Europe, but in Canada. So you don't have the option of going to face-to-face events to build this network. You can use LinkedIn, you build a profile, showcase your experiences, your education, and your accomplishments to help build it. On the other side of this, of course, employers and recruiters use LinkedIn to locate both active job seekers and those not necessarily looking. So the passive candidates who are out there who may find themselves receiving an offer. I personally have received a few, though I wasn't sure how serious they were, but I know many people, including senior level military members who getting ready to leave and before they've even released from the military are getting offers via their LinkedIn profiles. A lot of people aren't on LinkedIn because they're not really sure that it's valuable in their field. And I'm not going to say it's valuable for absolutely everyone, but looking at some of the numbers, the platform has really grown in the last few years, and I just wanted to highlight a few things here. As of now, I updated this presentation just a few days ago. There are over 30 million companies currently on LinkedIn with more than 20 million open job listings. Obviously, these are not all for the Canadian market. This is a global site, but I frequently use it for myself and for Canadian clients, and the Canadian content specifically is very good. There's a lot of Canadian companies using and hiring on LinkedIn. Approximately 100 million job applications are sent through the platform every month. Surveys repeatedly show that the majority of recruiters and hiring managers are using LinkedIn regularly. Up to 95% say that they're using it as a way to either find or vet candidates. One specific study I found showed that 122 million people received an interview through LinkedIn, and 35.5 million have been hired by someone who they initially connected with on LinkedIn. So what I wanted to go through today, we're talking LinkedIn Essentials. I started putting this presentation together last month and then looking at it, and I had notes that could have built 3 or 4 hours worth of presentations. There's so much to talk about, whether you want to talk in depth about exactly how to write each piece or what is the best way to network. So instead, what I've decided to do, just to simplify it a little bit, is I've put together top 10 tips for using LinkedIn successfully. And I hope that this covers the top pieces that you are looking for. It might not, but that's fine because we're getting to another piece at the end of the presentation. So for now, here are my top 10 tips that you can use to really rock your LinkedIn profile. The first thing you want to do is complete your profile. You may or may not have noticed this as you're working through the site, but as you're building your profile, there's a little sort of, I always thought of it as a warning, but a little indication as to how complete your profile is. And for the first few years that I was on the site, I think my profile was only 85% complete. What you want to do is have a 100% complete profile, and this looks different for everyone depending on your industry, but it's basically making sure that you have all the core pieces. You need to have your photo, a headline, at least one job listed, at least one education listed, a few skills, all of the core pieces. It might not mean that you have to have volunteer organizations or awards or projects added, but you want to make this as full as possible. And the benefit to doing that is, we talked about all of these recruiters and hiring managers who are looking for candidates on LinkedIn. You want them to find you. Studies show that if your profile is complete, it's 13 times more likely to be viewed because a complete profile shows up higher in search results. So you want to take advantage of all the sections that you can, fill it out, put the information up there. The second tip is to let your personality shine through. We said before that LinkedIn doesn't replace your resume. It shouldn't be a copy and paste of your resume. It should be similar, but you want it to be more social and more conversational. LinkedIn is a social network. What I tend to do is take the content from a resume and just rewrite it slightly using the first person, using a more conversational and friendly tone to talk about what I've done. I want people to read it and imagine that I'm telling it to them instead of just feeling like they're reading something that I've written. You have a bit of extra space on LinkedIn than you do on a resume. You have the ability to talk about your interests, your values, and your passions, provided, of course, they stay professional and don't get in the way of your message. But you can say more about yourself, things that you wish you had the ability to put into a resume or a cover letter. You can find a way to get them into a LinkedIn profile and really shine through. And of course, with any career writing, career document creation, you want to avoid those institutional buzzwords. Try not to talk all about how you're creating synergies at work or whatever your current buzzword is. Avoid acronyms. Make the content easy to read and easy to understand, and make it interesting. They want to know about you. They want to know why they should know more about you. So that's what you want to tell them. Tip 3, which is a bit, back to the completing your portfolio, is you need to use a photo, and that photo has to be you presenting yourself. It has to be a professional photo. Again, studies show that a profile with a photo is up to 40 times more likely to be viewed. You want your profile to be viewed. You do not have to have a professionally taken photo. You just need a good photo of yourself, high quality, not fuzzy, not pixelated, where you look professional and look like somebody that you would like to work with. So friendly, smiling, dressed professionally for your industry, professional dress for an investment banker is going to look different than professional dress for a nurse or a graphic designer, but dressed appropriate for the job that you target. As far as technical advice on the photo, it's generally advised to use a neutral background and to crop so that your head fills about 75 or 80% of the circle of the space you've got for your photo in the platform. Tip 4 is along with that profile photo, use a background photo and use it well, use it to your advantage. You have the ability, just like on Facebook or on Twitter, to, along with your own photo, have a bit of a background. So this is your opportunity to add a visual element to your LinkedIn profile that helps to build on either showcasing your personality, showcasing your personal brand. You can add a photo that is, has a bit of a theme to it. It might be your industry. It might be something that you're passionate about. So you want to find the right photo. They are not difficult to find. You can use your own photo if you have one that you like, that looks great, that has the required quality to show on screen. Or if you don't, you can find one online, and it's not difficult at all. Sites like Pixabay or Pexels offer a huge variety of free stock photos. You can log in. They have a search bar. You can search for IT photos, search for nature photos, whichever it is that you'd like to have. But you can also just Google free LinkedIn background photos, and all kinds of things are going to come up, and you'll find them already there, already cropped, and ready to use. Number 5 is leverage your headline. If you don't know what I mean when I say headline for LinkedIn, headline is the 120 characters that are going to appear under your name. It's at the top of your profile. If you come up in a search, it's the first thing that the reader is going to see. If you don't write a specific headline, LinkedIn will default and create a headline for you based on your current or most recent job title and employer. So it might say, for example, Natalie McClellan, Employment, Education, and Training Coordinator at Military Family Services Europe. Which is fine, except I've got a lot more to say about me than just where I work right now. I'm a whole lot more than just my current title. So I have 120 characters to use as a bit of a branding statement or elevator speech, however you'd like to look at it, to very quickly tell the reader who I am and what I offer. I have a couple of just sample headlines that I found here that to give you an idea of what some people have done. You can put some keywords in it. You can put perhaps your ideal job title. Dawn here has put Senior Digital Marketing Manager, which we're not seeing the rest of her profile. That could be her current job title, and she's just added some skills and keywords after it. Or it could be the job title that she's striving for, the way that she wants to present herself. Meredith here has listed a few of her top skills. So payment technology, fintech. She's indicated that she's an MBA candidate at a certain university. So this is not her job title. These are the keywords that she wants the reader to see about her first. And again, we have Amanda here with a very simple combination of 2 job titles, which may or may not be jobs that she's held, but they encapsulate the kind of work that she has done. And that's where you want to go. I stuck another in the bottom there, and I unintentionally hid more of it than I intended to with my little no symbol. But it's an example of someone who did not create their own headline and who had listed their current job status as unemployed. So then when she came up in a search, she came up as Kristen, who was unemployed at unemployed, which is unfortunate. It's a lost opportunity. People say over and over that it's easier to get a job when you have a job, which is the most frustrating thing about being a job searcher. But you don't want to undermine your abilities even more by highlighting your unemployment or highlighting your underemployment. So use that first line that they see to your ultimate advantage. Point 6 is, again, I was talking about keywords already, but keywords matter. We talked about keywords when we talked about resume writing and cover letter writing already, but essentially keywords are those words that are associated with your job or your industry target. They're not secret words, they're just words that tend to appear in job descriptions, in National Occupation Code descriptions of a job or a task. They're as simple as the job title, the common skills, the software or equipment that is used. If you are a graphic designer, for example, keywords might be design, might be Photoshop, InDesign, and other slight projects. So that might be things like advertising, digital marketing, any side projects that might be part of a graphic designer's job. Those are going to be the keywords. You're going to find them in the job poster that you're targeting. You'll find them in descriptions of the career online, and you want to make sure that those keywords appear throughout your profile. If you're not including them, then you're missing an opportunity. Essentially, again, we're talking about people who may search LinkedIn for job candidates. So if they type into the search bar graphic designer, and what they really, really need is somebody with strong Photoshop skills and let's say experience in advertising. So they type in graphic design, Photoshop, advertising. If you're not putting the keywords in there, you're writing very short descriptions, very few words, and you're just talking about the fact that you have a graphic design diploma and you've listed 3 jobs, those keywords won't be there, they won't be picked up, and you're not going to show up in the search, despite the fact that you may have all the qualifications that they're looking for. So you want to make sure that you're including those keywords. If you're not sure about keywords and you want to do a search and see what other ones you may want to use, you can always go to the JobScan website and look at keywords by industry or job type, or even simply, again, Google. If you Google resume keyword and then the job title, you're going to find a lot of sites that will give you a lot of tips. Number 7 is all about the summary. The LinkedIn summary, unlike a short profile paragraph which you would use to start a resume, or a highlight list that you would use to start a resume, for your summary on LinkedIn, you can use up to 2,000 characters. You can have several paragraphs to talk about yourself. One of the most stressful things about writing a resume is not having the space to say everything that you would like. This is your chance. So you want to use this summary and use this space to describe yourself, what you do, who you do it for, how you do it, why you do it, your philosophy of work, anything that you think is important to sell yourself to the employer. Talk about what you stand for, how you stand out from others, why hire you over someone else with similar qualifications, what have you achieved, what can you offer. And this, again, is where you let that personality shine through. Write your summary in a conversational, friendly tone and really show who you are. And then please, 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 number 8 is follow your summary with a description of your jobs. Over and over again, I'll see profiles that simply list the jobs. And I mean, we can kind of go back to the keywords discussion to say why this is important, in that if you're not talking about what you have done and you're just listing jobs and qualifications, you're missing all of those keywords. But on top of that, even if you're listing skills, in the skills section, the number one thing that employers want to know is what you did and when and where you did it. So they want to know that, not that you can generally publish newsletters, they want to know that you published a monthly newsletter for a BC corporation from 2017 to present. That tells them that you've done it recently, it's a new skill, that you did it for a large corporation, so it was probably very impressive. It tells them so much more than listing newsletters under a skill. So you want to take the content that you should have already in your resume describing each job, and again, adapt it, make it conversational, include accomplishments and results, which are hugely important to the employer, and use this to describe each job, or at least your recent jobs in your LinkedIn portfolio. Number 9 is actually very important, but very simple. Customize your LinkedIn URL. LinkedIn has made this incredibly easy for you. They will assign you a URL when you sign up. I made this one up. This is not exactly what it looks like, but here you go. Essentially, this is what they do, is give you a URL that is, www.linkedin.com/in and then / and it's usually your name and then a list of letters and numbers. And it's long and it's not very pretty. It's so easy to log into your profile, click in the upper right-hand corner on Edit Public Profile and URL, and then again it appears in the next screen right up at the top again in the right-hand corner. Simply click on this little pen symbol here, and you can edit the portion in front of, or following after, I should say, the /in. So you can write your name, you can write first name / last name, just your last name. I use my first and middle name because that's what I use to identify myself always on social media. It's just Natalie Joan. You can choose your favorite combination. If it's already used, LinkedIn will tell you, and you can mix it up, same as setting up an email address, mix it up until you find something that works for you. Very simple, and then you've got a nice clean URL that you can put at the top of your resume, put on a business card, wherever you think you will use it. And then number 10 is, again, relatively simple, but often missed. Include contact information. I mean, you want to determine how it is that you want people to contact you on LinkedIn. If you only want them to be able to contact you by using LinkedIn Messenger, then you might not want to include anything else. But if you're seriously using LinkedIn as part of a job search and not just a slow sort of network building, then you're going to want to make it as easy as possible to be contacted. So include an email address. Consider a phone number. I don't typically list my phone number online because it makes me a bit nervous about how many calls I possibly could get. But something to think about, or especially if you have a number that's relatively, I don't want to say private, but somehow isolated. If you have a phone that you can specifically use for this and you're not so worried about lots of people having the number, that would be a great thing to do. So include your email address, possibly a phone number, and consider including it at the end of your summary section. There is a specific contact section that LinkedIn includes and where you can tell it whether you want to share a phone or an email publicly. However, LinkedIn changes its format and its layout frequently, and that often gets hidden. So again, if you want to make sure that you've got a fail-safe way for interested parties to contact you, make it easy and just include that contact detail right in the summary, right at the end of the summary. All right, so those were my top 10 tips for how to really get the most out of LinkedIn with some very simple pointers. As I said, there is so much more that I could say, and I'm sure that you're wondering a whole other bunch of questions and things that you're concerned about that I didn't address today. But that's what's coming next, and that's what I promised when I designed this program. This session was that it's an intro to LinkedIn followed by what I call the 30-day LinkedIn challenge. So the LinkedIn challenge is me working with you, working with a group of military members and spouses who are looking to build their presence online. So over a course of 30 days, with one action per day, we want to build your network, help you connect with recruiters and hiring managers, and just generally improve that online presence. So over the next month, once a week, I'll send you a list of possible daily actions. You'll get 60 by the end of the month. And each day, it's designed so that each day you will complete one activity. You may end up missing a few days and doubling up on another, and that's fine. But in general, what we want to cover in these 6 days are activities that will help improve your profile, develop your network, create content for your summary, for your headline, for your job descriptions. And then once you've done those first 3 groups of activities, which are really building the profile, you want to use your profile. So you want to get involved in groups. You want to write and receive endorsements or recommendations. And then the following category is really a bit of a grab bag of things that don't really fit in any of those, but that can really be beneficial in just reaching out, finding people, placing yourself as an expert in your field, whatever your target is with the LinkedIn platform. Just as a quick example, some of the actions I'll be sending out might include comment on a LinkedIn publishing post, ask a question in a LinkedIn group, or if you're not in a group, join a group. Read your news feed for 15 minutes and commit to comment on at least one other person's update. You may just log in and quickly update your preferences on the jobs page or share a photo or an article. Really simple things, all designed to, one day at a time, help you become very familiar with the LinkedIn platform. And as I said, the aim is to take one action per day. The challenge is all about rewarding your effort, not your result. We're not looking for you to finish the 30 days and have 8 job offers in your inbox. It's really just about the effort. If you put in a little bit of effort every day, you become comfortable with the platform, then you're ready to use it and ready to take full advantage of it to get that result later, because results will come if you're taking that consistent action day after day. Going forward, daily activity is not necessarily important or the goal either. Once you know and are comfortable with the platform, you'll decide how often you really have to be in there and updating your profile and reaching out to people. But over this, your profile will improve, your visibility will improve, and your comfort with using LinkedIn for your job search and for your network building is going to definitely improve. It's a win-win-win-win situation, essentially, and that's the goal. So I will be sending the first set of activities out by tomorrow, and then each Monday for the rest of July, I'll be sending some more. At any point, as I said, I highlighted 10 tips today. There are other questions you're going to have, and never hesitate to get in touch with me if you have any questions about how to engage in this challenge. You are welcome. Here's my LinkedIn profile right here and my email. You're welcome to connect with me and to reach out and to really start using LinkedIn, and I'm happy to help. I can also put you in touch with any of the other group members who are doing the same thing right now. So thank you so much for listening and participating. If you have any questions right now, please just let me know. Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you back for another employability session in the future.